Product managers are stereotyped as the people who say, "It depends," to everything. In this video, we won't let them. We brought in 2 leaders at Crema to respond to hot takes in AI, org norms, tech, and more.
I'm Amy Schweppe, and I'm a senior product manager here at Crema.
I'm Alison Stark, and I lead product here at Crema.
29 years of product experience.
There's 29 years of product experience between the 2 of us.
Oh yeah.
That's a full-fledged adult.
That's a grown adult.
Based off of the internet's current trending topics, most AI features launched this year won't exist in 2 years.
Yes.
Yes.
It's always changing, and I would assume that anything that's built in the next 6 to 8 months, I would hope in a year, 2 years out, it looks drastically different than what it does today. If it doesn't, I feel like we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think right now is about tossing lots and lots of things out there rather than actually landing on what people need.
Lots of throwaway.
We're too much at the frontier right now.
The product manager, designer, and engineer split is collapsing into one hybrid role.
No. It changes what is happening within those roles, but like the importance of the contributions that each of those roles have to a product outcome doesn't change. And just throwing AI or like vibe coding on top of that, it just exacerbates the problems that were already there.
I hope that it continues to increase curiosity across domains, because I feel like that's what it's empowering the most, not necessarily overtaking, but increasing our curiosity to, expand beyond just the walls of our specific roles on a product team.
You ladies are very aligned today.
I know.
Product managers as a job title won't exist by 2030.
2030?
It won't exist?
Will not.
Out of a job.
I don't know how to answer this. It will look drastically different, but yeah, the role in some form or another will still be there. It's a no for me, dog.
Agile-based technologies don't require training.
Correct. You can take all the Agile courses and have all the certificates. It's not going to impress upon people unless you have experience doing it.
Okay, so does not require, like the certifications.
Yeah.
No, don't do those. But training in terms of like experience on your teams, that is what you need.
Yeah.
So
we're saying the same thing.
I think we're saying the same thing. Yeah, like you have to experience it for yourself.
Yep.
The theory of Agile does not go very far.
Yep.
Product market fit can disappear overnight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Wild West of tech.
No moat.
Most companies are optimizing for certainty instead of innovation.
No, not right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree.
Yep. I kind of wish they would. I
was gonna say the same. Yeah.
But yeah, there's more experimental. I see a lot more, let's just throw AI into the mix for really the heck of it, when we're not evaluating on the necessity of it nearly as much.
Agree. It's a bit of maybe a scramble and a mad dash in the name of innovation. That's good. We should be experimenting and playing around.
Roadmaps often reflect politics more than strategy.
Ooh, okay.
Not when I'm there.
They shouldn't.
Not if I got something to say about it.
I do think that they can be impacted by or be informed by, but ideally they're not.
I've seen plenty that do have a lot of politics. Yeah, where like the priorities are set on maybe not so data driven, but they're set by, at a level of the organization that is very political, and that can sometimes show up in the roadmap. But they shouldn't be, and most teams are trying to move beyond that.
The AI feature your CEO wants probably isn't the one your users need.
Sorry. It's true.
Yeah. It maybe goes a lot to like the last question of like, sometimes disconnect can happen from the top because there's a whole different view of what's happening down below.
We would hope that leadership is connected to the users as, the product teams, but in reality, leadership doesn't have the connection point that the product team does. It's part of the product team's role to be boots on the ground with users day to day, so they'll be much more in tune with what the users actually want. So maybe that's some advice to leaders.
Every product team should have an AI skeptic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Every product person should be a skeptic. Everyone should be a little bit paranoid because AI is just so confident that it's right all the time. And so you have to be skeptical and you have to be looking for where there's holes and things that are not right. Healthy skepticism.
That's right.
Prioritization frameworks like RICE are more theater than they are useful.
Oh, yay, we finally disagree. I would say no, because they're great tools for people who don't know how to prioritize like naturally, who don't, maybe they don't have the experience, or maybe they're learning what it means to put themselves into these constraints. So I think they're great tools to learn how to do it effectively. I wouldn't necessarily say that every single team needs to use them though.
Okay, totally agree with that. That as a learning tool, like you have an organization that's shifting to learning the product practices, having a framework there to follow is wonderful because you can explain the concepts behind it. You've got something practical to apply to it. Like it's a great learning tool. I think once you've been doing it long enough, those things become a little bit more innate. Yeah. And like, maybe if I'm really stuck on something, I'll be like, okay, what would Rice tell me to do? But like, I wouldn't run the whole exercise. I would just like get the point that I need. Like, okay, I can fill in the rest on my own.
Stakeholder alignment meetings are where good ideas go to die.
What? No. I love the way that was asked. Many things can go to die during stakeholder alignment meetings, but I don't necessarily think good ideas are.
They don't die. They get like a change of clothes or something. It's like they come out looking a little different.
Yeah, hopefully for the better.
Hopefully for the better, yes.
In 2026, stand-ups should be async, not live.
Depends on the team.
I think actually a stand-up is a pretty effective.
If it's done right.
It's still, yeah, if it's done right.
Yeah. I think it can be either or. I have had so many teams where async works best because of time zone differences, like you name it. Some folks really like that live, in-person, video conversation where they can start to dig into the weeds and then table things. If the team is not actively participating in async, I think that's a sign you need to move it to, live.
Rarely does anyone contribute, and rarely do I make anyone contribute because it's like, we've been meeting in person all week on this. I feel good about where you're at. You don't need to like asynchronously make me feel better.
Using AI reduces ownership of outputs.
No. I don't know if you've seen any lawsuits lately, but you're responsible for whatever you send out the door. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, the answer is no, but the trap is yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Product managers should be contributing code.
No. I mean, you can explore and learn. There's nothing wrong with that. But unless you are being supported by a developer or, this is the direction of your career, like I think it's important to lean into your areas of expertise, barring the fact that there's nothing wrong with exploring and learning.
Most teams do not need me to become yet another bad developer. Like,
you don't want me to do that.
That's not where I can help. It's a lot of fun, and some people are probably legitimately good at it, and like go for it. There's a whole avenue there, but as a baseline expectation for product managers, no, be good at product.
If you only have product managers and you don't have designers or developers and that is your responsibility, maybe that's a different story altogether, but how we build our product teams, I would say it's not necessary.
Defining tactical roadmaps past 1 to 3 months is a liability.
Tactical. Yeah.
High level, keep it epic level past 3 months. And like any roadmap, it lives and breathes. It's not set in stone. It will probably change.
If you have learned nothing after 3 months of building your product and have nothing to change after 3 months, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Nothing ever goes according to plan, and you're gonna learn things as you get in. Yeah.
Product is dead.
What?
Never.
No.
IDK, I read on Substack that it might be.
It's getting more accessible for people, which I think shifts the paradigm a bit. But I don't think it's dead. I think it's more relevant than ever, and it's becoming again more accessible to more people. So I'm excited to see where we can take it. We haven't had like a huge disruptive change in product in a while, and we're due for it. So I'm all about it.
Yeah. Product is experiencing a lot of disruption, but a lot of that disruption is showing the faults and process that already existed when you don't have strong product teams and companies fall into the trap of delivering outputs instead of towards outcomes. And then now AI speeds everything up, more outputs, and that's just more ways to fail. And at the end of the day, you have to come back and say, where can we get somebody that can come in here and prioritize these things and actually work towards these goals that will help our business? And that's a product manager.
That is all I have. Bonus statement, fuzzy socks make great swag gifts.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely, fuzzy socks make great swag gifts.
You're too good for fuzzy socks. What does that
Get
say
out
about
of
you?
here.